Hello everyone. In our previous video, we saw what is loops and the first method of loops in Python called for loop. In today's video, we will see the next method, the while loops in Python. So, why we are using while loop? We already have for loop, right? So, what is the difference between for loop and while loop? So in our previous example, we saw that the distance between the car and the obstacle is 5. So we have to move 5 steps forward. So we know that we need to put the loop 5 times. So for loop, you will already know how many times the loop must execute. But in while loop, you will not know how many times the loop will execute itself. So let's take an example that this is car and this is the obstacle. You have to move the car whenever the distance between the car and the obstacle is greater than 1. But you don't know what is the distance between the car and the obstacle itself at starting. So in that case, you will use while loop. So we will see how we should use while loops in Python. So first of all, the syntax of while loop is while condition colon indentation then response. So this is the simple syntax of while loop. So in our example, what is the condition? The condition is obstacle is greater than 1. So this loop will execute whenever the distance between car and the obstacle is greater than 1. It will stop execute when the distance between the car and the obstacle is less than or equal to 1. So generally in while loops, the while loop will keep on getting executed whenever this condition is true. If the condition goes false, it will stop executing. So if the condition is true, even for infinite number of times, the while loop will keep on executing for infinite number of times. So that is the only difference between for loop and while loop. For loop cannot execute infinite number of times. You will already know how many times the for loop will execute. But in some cases, you don't know how many times the loop must execute itself. In that case, you will use while loop. As simple as that. So the response must be print move forward. So if you run the program, you will get an error. What error? The name obstacle is not defined. So this is the error. You must be very careful while using while loop. In for loop, we will put the counter variable in for I like that, right? But in while loop, you have to define the variable before itself. Before the loop starts itself, you must declare the variable. So here I am putting something like obstacle equal to 8. For example, here the distance between car and the obstacle is greater than equal to 8. But we don't know that how many times the loop must execute itself. So we are putting a while loop. So when the while loop gets executed for the first time, this obstacle will be 8. So 8 is greater than 1. So the condition is true. So the while loop gets executed. So now if you run the program, as you can see, you are getting a major problem, which is the move forward is keep on printing for infinite number of times. This is the most important thing. You must be very careful while using while loops, because if you put any wrong conditions in Python, even a minor mistake, the while loop will keep on executing for infinite number of times and the program will get crashed. So you must be very careful while defining the condition. So it is executing for an infinite number of times. So what is the wrong in our condition? Yes, because the while loop, for the first time when it executed, the obstacle value is 8, right? So 8 is greater than 1. This loop will get completed for the first time. Again it will go. Again 8 is greater than 1. Again it will go. Again 8 is greater than 1. Again it will go. Again 8 is greater than 1. It will keep on going when, but 8 is stable. So 8 is constant here. So it will get executed for infinite number of times. So we must logically, if we move the car forward, the distance between the obstacle and car gets reduced by 1, right? So we have to subtract the obstacle by 1. So we will use obstacle minus equals to 1. So this operator is known as decrementing operator, which is used to subtract a number by 1. So it is same as obstacle equals to obstacle minus 1. Obstacle minus 1. So it is same as this thing. In short form you will use this. You will use this very often. So remember this. So obstacle minus equal to 1. This is called as decrementing operator. If you want to add 1, then you will use something called as incrementing operator. Incrementing operator is plus equals to 1. So here we will reduce, so we are using decrementing operator. So now if you run, you can see our program didn't crash this time because we are reducing by 1. So first time when the loop runs, it will be 8 and it will get reduced by 1. So it will go 7, then second time it will go 7, then 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2. So 7 times the loop gets executed, and again we will go and check for 1. So 1 is not greater than 1. So it will stop the loop. So that's it. So it get executed for 7 times. So if you put 18 here, then it will get executed for 17 times. So the concept is as simple as that. So we will see one more example, the mathematical example you saw for loop. Printing numbers from 1 to 100. So what we will do, first we have to declare the variable. So I am putting the variable as var equals to 1. While what is the condition? Var is less than or equal to 100. What we should do? We should print var. And then what we should do? Now the program gets executed for infinite time. So we have to stop the infinite execution, we will put var plus equals to 1, incrementing operator. So first time it will be 1, then it will get incremented, then it will go as 2, then again 2 is lesser than or equal to 100, then 3, then 4, and it will be keep on executing till 100. So that's it for today. What we have learned today, we have learned what is while loops in Python, what is the difference between for loop and while loop, where we should use for loop and where we should use while loop, what all things you must be careful while using while loop, and what all errors you will face and how to rectify the errors. So that's it for today. Thank you.